there, I am Bashar and you are tuning into the Techquest Learning Point. I'm here to bring you a brand new episode to the tutorial programming C Sharp for beginners. I am starting the 10th episode, diving into the new topic of encapsulation and properties. This installment marks the 10th episode in the Programming C Sharp for Beginners tutorial series. It's a complete C Sharp programming course which enables any learner to make their basic foundation on C Sharp programming, where 9 number of episodes has already been discussed with lab in Visual Studio 2022 environment. In this episode, I will discuss on understanding encapsulation and properties, defining properties and read-only properties, as well as I will show with example to make your concept more clear in Visual Studio 2022. Before starting, I would like to give you a message that I am going to start another series of tutorial named ASP.NET very soon. Get ready for an exciting ASP.NET tutorial that will be a small project based using C Sharp. So those who haven't subscribed, make sure to subscribe to this channel and press a bell icon. Okay, let's start today encapsulation and properties. Understanding encapsulation and properties. Encapsulation. Encapsulation in C Sharp is a fundamental concept of object-oriented programming that restricts direct access to some of the objects components and can prevent the accidental modification of data. This is typically achieved using classes and access modifiers such as public, private, and protected. It's a fundamental object-oriented programming principle that aims to bundle data fields and the methods that operate on that data together within a class. This concept promotes data hiding and controlled access, improving code reliability and maintainability. Let's consider a real-time example of encapsulation in C Sharp, which can be seen in a class named bank. This class can have private variables like account number, name, and balance, which are not directly accessible from outside the class. Instead, public methods like getBalance, withdrawal amount, and deposit are provided to interact with these variables safely. This ensures that the balance cannot be modified directly, this protecting the integrity of the data. Have a look into the example. Public class bank. Here three private variables: private string account number, private string name, private decimal balance. Our public methods are bank, get balance, deposit, and withdraw. In this example, balance is encapsulated and any modification to it must go through the deposit and withdraw methods, ensuring that the balance remains valid. Please double check important information regarding the encapsulation and its implementation in C Sharp, as it can vary based on context. Benefits of encapsulation: protects data integrity. By hiding internal data, you control how it's accessed and modified, preventing accidental unauthorized changes. Promotes modularity. Classes become self-contained units, promoting reusability and easier code organization. Improves maintainability. Changes to internal data can be made without affecting the other parts of the code that rely on the class's public interface. Achieving encapsulation. Achieving encapsulation. Declare fields as private. This makes them accessible only within the class itself. Provide public properties. Properties act as an interface to access and modify private fields. They can have getters to retrieve the value of a field, setters to modify the value of a field, often with validation or business logic. Example. Here is the example. The class person. The class person has private variable string underscore name, and it has properties name. Properties has two methods: get accessor, set accessor. Get accessor return the value of name variable, and set accessor assign the value to the private variable name. Properties in C sharp. In C sharp, properties are members of a class that enable you to read, write, or compute the value of a private field through accessor methods, providing an interface for data encapsulation. They typically consist of a get accessor that returns the field value and a set accessor that assigns a value to the field. Properties can also include features for validation, computed values, and lazy evaluation. A property is like a combination of a variable and the method, and it has two methods, a get and a set method. Provide a controlled way to access and modify private data members. Can have both get and set accessor, or be read only, get accessor only, or write only, set accessor only. Other the flexibility to add validation, business logic, or custom behavior when getting or setting values. Benefits of properties: improved code readability and maintainability. Properties make code more self-documenting and easier to understand. Data validation and control. You can implement validation logic within property accessor to ensure data integrity. Flexibility in data access. Read only with only properties can be used to control how data is accessed. Key points: encapsulation and properties are essential for writing a secure, reliable, and maintainable object oriented code. Use properties to provide a well defined interface for accessing and modifying internal data. Balance data hiding with the need for flexibility and maintainability. Define properties. Properties are a fundamental feature in C Sharp that provide a controlled way to access and modify the private data members of a class. They act as an interface between the outside world and the internal state of object. Here's the structure of a property declaration. In order to declare the property, we follow this syntax: public, type, prototype name, curly braces start, get, curly braces return logic here, curly braces close, set, curly braces logic for setting value here, curly braces close, curly braces close. Type. The data type of the property, as per example, string int bool. Property name. The name of the property, Pascal case convention, get. An optional accessor to retrieve the data properties value. Set. An optional accessor to set the properties value. Key points. Properties can be both read write, having both get and set, or read only, only set, only get, or write only, only set. You can add validation logic in the set accessor to ensure data integrity. Properties can have custom logic in their accessor or complex behaviors. Let's consider an example. Properties use the get and set accessor and are defined like as below. Public class person. This class has a private variable, private string name, and the public string name is the property. This property has the two methods: get accessor, which return the value of name variable, and set accessor, which assign the value to the private variable name. In this example, the name property provides the controlled access to the private name field. It validates the input in the set accessor, preventing the empty names. Uses. Properties are accessed like fields. Person. Person is the object equal to new person. The person dot name equal to John. The value John is assigned to the private variable name through this object person. The person dot name, the value is assigned a variable name. Benefits of using properties. Encapsulation. They promote data hiding and controlled access to data members. Readability. They make code clearer and easier to understand. Maintainability. They allow for changes to internal logic without affecting external uses. Validation. They enable data validation and error handling. Flexibility. They can have custom logic for specific behaviors. By using this property effectively, you can write more robust, maintainable, and flexible object-oriented code in C Sharp. Read-only properties. Read-only properties are a type of property that allows you to expose a value for reading but not for modification. They only have a get accessor and no set accessor. Key characteristics. Read-only access can only be retrieved but not changed from outside the class. Use cases. Representing values that should not modified after creating, as per example, calculated values constants. Exposing internal state without allowing direct modification. Exposing internal state without allowing direct modification. Protecting sensitive data. Creating read-only properties. Method 1. Using a get accessor without set accessor. Public string full name get semicolon. Method 2. Using the read-only keyword. Public read-only string full name equal to John Doe. Here is the example. Read-only properties can have initialized in the constructor or directly in their calculation. They can be used in interface for mandatory implementation by classes that implement the interface. They promote code clarity and maintainability by making the intent of read-only data clear. Now I have come back to the Visual Studio. Let's demonstrate how the encapsulation works in a class. You know, encapsulation is nothing but a fundamental concept of object-oriented programming that restricts direct access to some of an object's components. Here I will show how to restrict direct access to the variables account number, name and balance in the class bank. First, create the class bank. For that creating the class, add a new class template. The class bank must be the access modifier public. So rename this intern. Here is the code for the class bank. Look into these three variables of which access modifiers are private. As the scope visibility of these variables are private, these variables are not accessible from outside of this class bank. Let's consider a situation in which we don't want to insert or change or delete the value of a variable directly from any other class else. In this case, we can use the private variable. Here, the balance variable is declared with private access modifier. So, the value of this variable can be changed through the method bank. Otherwise, it's not possible to change the value of this variable balance directly. The method bank initializes three variables: account number, name, and balance by three parameters value, account number, name, and initial balance respectively. As the method name and class name is the same, so this is constructor. This method is not required to call with object. It can be called automatically when a object is created by this class. This method ACC display the account number and name. GetBalance method display balance. The value of private variable balance in this class bank is increased by the value of parameters amount. That means the value of balance is changed through the public method deposit in the bank class. There is no permission to access the private variable balance from outside of this class bank directly. Withdraw method. Through the withdraw method, which is defined with public access modifier in this class bank, the value of balance is decreased by the value of parameter amount. Now I want to create a object by using the class bank. Here the bank 1 object is created by using the bank class, and the parameter value, this value is the account number, and this is the account name and the current balance. The bank1 dot access info method is called here to display the information of the bank accounts related, and here is the print the current balance. Let's run the program. Here and account name ABCD, current balance 2000. Now I want to change the value of balance variable, which is private in the class bank. As there is no permission to access the private variable balance directly outside the class. That's why I have to change the value through the deposit method. Here I deposit the 500, which is increased the value of balance. Let's check. Let's check whether the balance is increased or not. Here, the current balance is 200 and after deposit balance will be 2500. Here the amount 300 is withdrawn from the balance by using the method withdraw. Let's check. After deposit balance is 2500. After withdraw balance is 2200. Now I will show the properties. Let's create another class. This is the space for the class person. Now I will write the code of members for their class person. The public class person. It's a private variable which is not directly accessible from outside of this class. This is a property named name and its access modifier is public and data type is string. It has a get accessor that returns the value of private variable name and has a set accessor that assigns a value of private variable name. The property name is the combination of a variable name and two methods get and set. Now I will use the property to assign the value and return the value. Okay, write this code. In this line, the property name is assigned the value John by using the object person1. In this line, the value of name variable is returned to the variable xyz and display the value. Let's check. John. That's it. I hope you will clear the use of encapsulation and property. If you have any problem to understand, you can comment. Please subscribe my channel and press the bell icon. Bye. See you next episode.